Okay, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us which college you went to.
Okay, sure. I'm Sam Taylor, and I'm still at college.
Okay, are you there for another, how long?
I'm there for another year. I've just started the second year of my MFA at the Slade.
Okay, great. And would you tell us a little bit about your work?
Sure. Mainly, I suppose I'm working with print and photography,
Okay.
and I'm also making sculptural objects which are quite figurative.
Okay.
So lots of heads and lots of kind of gestural poses to some extent. That's really what I'm focusing on in a very practical sense, and I think maybe that's the best way to describe things at the moment.
Okay, so you're addressing figuration. You're addressing how to bring a figure into some sort of form.
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, I suppose I work with figures a lot because it's a very direct thing. That's what I see all around me. So I mean, that's the thing that interests me the most, or that's the way that I like to think about things through. So to make a photograph, I tend to make a photograph of a figure, or I'll maybe do some kind of still life, but it's about a kind of relationship between these things that I'm thinking about, as well as maybe whatever conceptual thought I might be kind of gearing this work around as well.
And have you found a medium which you feel is the most direct? It's too early to say.
To some extent. I mean, I really like working with print and with photography. I find those two things very interesting but then I play and I like a very direct connection with the material, which sometimes photography doesn't necessarily allow you. Also, there's a very specific financial constraint with making photographic work.
Yeah.
Really, in making any work, there has to be some kind of, you've got to pay for your materials, but with photography, all of those costs tend to come in big chunks. And I find that I need to think I need to think and incorporate that into my practice if I'm going to be able to carry on after leaving art school, where I can do my processing for free, and maybe I get very reduced printing costs, but I need to, so that's why.
So you have to work out an economy of some kind
Yeah,
of how
very
to
much
proceed.
so.
And that's the fascinating thing I'm finding about this show and the selection of artists, is that some have graduated. So some of them are over the threshold.
Yes.
And then some of them are still sort of, a bit of time left, a bit of time to consider things. And so in a way you do have that energy of this insecurity between sort of people who are just emerging into the wide open space of the future. And so it's interesting. It's interesting just to watch this happening. And so in a way it's an interesting kind of point of it. But I'm supposed to ask you this question, which is that, is the show useful for you? Do you find it, your participation a useful thing for you right now?
What's really nice is to have been given the opportunity to show something at this stage, and I think that's not necessarily made me throw everything together and think that this is it in that sense. It's really.
So you're remaining sceptical.
Yeah, very much so. It's making me feel like, I suppose I can still change and I can still move around things, and I feel that freedom that's being given, or the opportunity to have a little bit of freedom with that, to play a bit with it, is really useful right now.